Assalamu alaikum. We are into our lecture number 33. If you remember, we were discussing the concept customer life cycle and customer life cycle segmentation. And I mentioned that there are 5 different stages of customers' loyalty which have been identified by the experts, namely awareness, exploration, familiarity, commitment, and then separation. So awareness means that in this first stage, the customer would get to know about the company, about the products or the services which are provided by that particular company or the business. Then in the exploration stage, the customer would interact with the business, it would exchange certain information with the business, it would acquire certain useful information in this manner, but the customer at this stage would not be buying or purchasing anything from the company, from the business. Then comes the familiarity stage. In familiarity stage, the customer actually makes certain transactions with the company. It actually purchases the products or the services from the business. And it is now aware of the company's different policies, say as regards the refunds, or the policy of discount, or the policy of privacy, etc. In the commitment stage, the fourth stage, the customer has been converted into a loyal customer. So the customer may have undergone many satisfactory transactions with the company, and the customer is quite happy with the services provided by the company. He may be so happy that the customer may be talking about the company's products, the company's services to the outside world, to the third parties. The company, on the other hand, also tries to make the customer happy as much as possible by offering certain special discounts or rebates or certain special promotions to the customer. The endeavor of the company should be that the customer should remain in this commitment stage as long as possible. So the customer should be converted, should be shifted to this stage as quickly as possible, that is the commitment stage, and then the company should make every possible endeavor that the customer remains in this stage for as long period of time as possible. That is the primary aim of the business of the company. Then comes the separation stage, where the loyalty of the customer starts declining. So the customer may not be happy with the performance, with the services, with the products provided by the company. So the relationship starts deteriorating. On the other hand, the company may also feel that maintaining this customer is proving to be costly. Offering certain special rebates or special promotions to this particular customer is not cost effective. So in this manner, the relationship starts deteriorating. And gradually, we say that the customer is now separating from the company. Using the customer life cycle, we can segment our customers, we can put our customers into different groups based upon these stages, and using these segments, it is quite possible that we identify our customers in a better fashion, we understand the needs of our customers in a better way, and we can enter into a useful, strong relationship with our customers based upon this sort of segmentation. Then I also briefly talked about the search engines. If you remember, I told that the search engines, they are the programs which scan the websites, and then they can prepare a list of relevant websites for us based upon certain search engine ranking criteria. Usually the keywords which the users enter in the search box, they are treated as the thing for ranking purposes. In order to register with search engines, you have to pay certain prescribed fee. So there are important, very famous search engines like Google, Yahoo, Alta Vista. If you want to be registered with the famous search engines, you have to pay certain registration fee. What happens is that you take the meta information pertaining to your website, pertaining to your online business, to the search engine, and then the search engine, after charging its prescribed fee, would enter that meta information in its database. So remember, only the meta information is provided to the search engine, and in the database, the meta information corresponding to the URL, that list is available with the search engine. The actual website is residing somewhere else. It is residing in a web server. So only the meta information, which is the information about the website, that is provided to the search engine. The users, they would access the search engine website, and then there will be a search box available. In that search box, the users are required to key in to provide certain keywords. So the users would type certain keywords, and these keywords would be used for ranking purposes by the search engine. So in case a user types the words internet and e-commerce and then presses search or the enter button, then immediately the search engine software would try to match these entered keywords with the meta information contained in its database. And usually the criteria used by the search engines is that the words are tried to be matched. The maximum words typed by the user, if matched by a particular meta information, then that URL would be ranked on the top. So if internet and e-commerce, both these words, they are present in the meta information of certain websites, their URL would be ranked on the top. Those websites which only contain the word e-commerce, they would be ranked relatively low. Therefore, in order to achieve the ranking on the top, the maximum number of words which are entered by the user, they should match with the meta information. That is one criteria. Secondly, the search engines also see that the frequency of occurrence of these keywords, that should be relatively more in relation to those websites which are to be ranked on the top. So therefore, as an example, those websites or those meta informations in which the keywords in this example, that is internet and e-commerce, these words are occurring repeatedly in more frequency, in more number, then accordingly those URLs or those websites, they would also then be ranked relatively on the top. So both these criteria, the maximum number of words, they should match with the meta information. Secondly, the frequency of occurrence of these keywords, that should be relatively high. So if both these criteria, they are applied, then the websites which match this particular criteria, accordingly they would be ranked on the top. Then there is a software called Spider, which certain search engines, they utilize, and what this software does, that it checks, it inspects the entire internet for ranking purposes, for locating the websites. The search engine not just confines itself to the database, to its database, rather it checks the other web servers also, the entire internet, with the help of this software called Spider. There is an interesting legal issue which is associated with the search engines, and that is the tort of passing off. Now, it's quite interesting to understand. You know that meta information of a website, it is not something secret. So you can view the source code. You access a website, you can view the source code of that website. That source code may include the meta information of that website. What can happen is that a fraudulent company or a fraudulent person can use the meta information of a genuine business, of a genuine website in its own website in order to achieve a higher ranking on the search engine. And once that is done, we can say that a tort of passing off has been committed. It's an offense. So I give you an example. Say there is an established brand, an online company, and say, assuming its name is Best Watches. Now, this is an established brand. It is a well-known brand. People know this brand name. A newly established company which wants to market itself and which wants to compete with this already established well-known brand, that is Best Watches. What that newly emerging company can do is, if it intends to, it can go to the website of Best Watches, and through its website it can view the source code and it can see the meta information used for the business Best Watches, and then the same meta information can be incorporated, can be included by this newly established company. Say its name is Nice Watches. So this newly established company, Nice Watches, uses the meta information of the genuine company Best Watches in its website, and it repeats the key information, the meta information of the genuine company Best Watches in its own website, and it repeats that information, it repeats the keywords more in number. It deliberately tries to increase the frequency of occurrence of those keywords, of that meta information which is pertaining to the business Best Watches, just to achieve a higher ranking. Okay, now the search engine, it only sees the meta information, it only uses its criteria in order to rank the websites. What can happen is that a user who wants to reach the website of the company Best Watches with the help of search engine, it can enter in the search box of the search engine some keyword. Say it enters the keyword Best Watches, okay, and then the user presses search. What happens is that the URL of the fraudulent company, that is Nice Watches, which is using the meta information of Best Watches, that URL would be ranked higher, and the URL of the genuine company Best Watches would be ranked lower, just because the meta information of Best Watches has been used by Nice Watches by repeating the keywords more in number, and in this fashion the ranking of the online business Nice Watches would be higher. Now, this is a general tendency that whenever you have the results of your search before you, you start with the first page and you start with the first URL. So whatever information is listed at the top, you start from there. So what a user would tend to do is that he would press that link which is appearing before the user at the top. When the user presses that link, expecting that the user would reach the best watches website, what happens to the surprise of the user is that he reaches another website, which is that of nice watches. The user gets surprised, but then the user says, okay, well, this appears to be a nice web design. There is another brand, another company. Let's see what information does it provide. And maybe the user then starts recognizing that brand. He finds that brand, nice watches, more useful, more attractive. So he may decide to buy from this online business, nice watches, instead of the actual business to which the user wanted to go. So you notice that what is happening? The fraudulent business, nice watches, it is capitalizing upon the reputation of the well-established brand, best watches, by including the meta information of best watches in its website. And in this fashion, it is improving its ranking. What it is doing, it is increasing the number of keywords, the meta information, which actually belong to best watches in its own website. And when the search engine does the ranking based upon its criteria, it puts the URL of nice watches higher on the ranking. Now, this sort of passing off is a legal offense, and in most jurisdictions it is a punishable thing. So, in this particular example, the business best watches, it can file a civil suit. It can restrain the company nice watches from using its meta information. It can also claim damages from nice watches for stealing the meta information of best watches and using it for its marketing purposes, etc. So that was the main discussion about search engines. Remember, whenever you have established your online business, it is always desirable that you get a good ranking with certain famous important search engines. So that is one job of the marketers, that once they have established their online business, they would always make effort to improve the ranking on the relevant search engines. Okay, then another aspect related to internet marketing is making partnerships. Partnership is a legal concept where two or more entities, persons, they share their resources, they share their efforts in order to make certain profit. The legal concept that comes into existence is a partnership. Partnership is a strong union, it's a strong relationship, a strategic union in which both the partner businesses, they support each other, right? So normally the partnerships would be formed between complementary businesses. Okay, say there are two online businesses. One online business sells computers and the other online business sells computer-related books. So these are the examples of two complementary businesses. They are providing similar services or similar products. So if they enter into a strategic union, into a partnership, then that would be beneficial for both the businesses. The competitive advantage for the customers would be that they would just be one click away from a complementary product or a complementary service. Say a customer goes to the website of the computer business and he finds a link there related to the business of computer books. The customer can click on that link and then go to the computer books website and do the purchasing from there. So these are two complementary businesses which are supporting each other in this fashion. They are pooling their resources. They can share their profit. It's a strong bondage, strong relationship. Now, what different ways are there for two businesses to support each other? One is that the businesses, they can share the customer information with each other. Similarly, they can undertake certain research activity, and the result of that research can be shared between the partnership businesses. If one partnership business wants to outsource certain activity, certain assignment, then it is quite probable that that business finds the other business, the partnership business, more suitable for this outsourcing activity. So instead of outsourcing an assignment, a task, to a third party, your partnership business can undertake that activity, that task, more appropriately. Okay, so again I repeat, where there are similar businesses, complementary businesses, it can be mutually beneficial for the businesses to form such sort of a strong relationship, a strategic union called partnership. Then there is the term affiliate programs. An affiliate program is an agreement between the two parties whereby one party would pay certain specified commission to the other on the basis of a designated consumer action. So I'll give you an example. Banner advertising is the example of affiliate programs. You are familiar with this concept. In banner advertising, there is a host website and there is an advertising business or advertising website. On the host website, there is the banner placed pertaining to the advertising website, and when the customers click on that banner, they can reach the website of the advertising business and then they can do the shopping from there. So this is an example of an affiliate program in which the advertising website in most cases will have to pay to the host business for providing advertising space to the advertising business. Then I would like to talk about branding, creating or maintaining brands on the web. A brand in simple terms can be defined as that name, that symbol which reminds customers of the reputation of a business as regards its products or its services, etc. In fact, it's an emotional shortcut between the company and its customers. So there are different familiar brands you may have noticed. There are familiar trade names. You know the reputation, you judge the reputation of a particular business from that trade name, from that brand. There are three main elements required to create and maintain a brand. And these three elements have been identified by experts as: number one, product differentiation; number two, relevance; and number three, perceived value. Product differentiation means that the product your business is producing, is manufacturing, is unique in a certain sense. So you can say that the product of a particular business is different from the products of its competitors in some significant way. Then that element would be called product differentiation. For example, if your company has established a brand and your company has manufactured a technique whereby the soap your company is manufacturing, it does not dissolve quickly in water, then it is a product differentiation. Your product is different from the similar products of your competitors in the sense that your product does not dissolve quickly, your soap does not dissolve quickly in water as compared to the products produced by your competitors. That is a distinguishing feature of your product. Second element of a brand is relevance. So the term relevance means that can people see this particular product as a part of their life? Does this particular product fit into their life? Can they see it using? How far is it relevant to the people? So I give you an example. Say you have manufactured a very classical, a very special type of jewelry which is quite expensive, and then only a particular class of people, say very few people, would be inclined to buy this expensive jewelry. Okay, you can say that this particular product, this special jewelry, is not relevant to the majority of the people. So this element of relevance in this particular case would be missing, and your brand cannot get popularized because of this lacuna, this deficiency. So you have to see that product which you are offering, it is not only differentiated, distinguishable from the products of the competitors, but also it is relevant to the people. The people can see this particular product as a product they can use. It is relevant to them. It relates to their life. Okay, the third element is perceived value. So just in case your product is differentiated, it is unique, plus it is also relevant to the majority of the people, they can see its relevance in their life. Then at the same time, you would also want your product to be valuable or useful for the customers. That would again be a very important element that should be present in relation to the product you are offering. So I give you an example. Say you have a restaurant where people can come and they can eat. You offer certain very special dishes in your restaurant. So the product you are offering in that sense is unique, it is differentiated. Plus, people can come, they can eat these dishes. So the product you are offering is related to the people. The relevance element is also there. But just in case the dishes you are offering, they are of poor quality or they are high in fats, in the content of fats, they contain a lot of fats, then the people, the customers would see that the value of these products, these dishes, it is not that much for them. They would only like to use these products if they have got any perceived value, any benefit for them. If they are rich in fats, then they are going to cause problem to their health. So they won't feel comfortable eating these dishes. So in order to create and maintain your brand, it is imperative that you fulfill these three elements, that is, product differentiation, relevance, and perceived value. All these three, they must coexist. They should be present. Then there are two different techniques of popularizing your brand One is emotional branding, and then the other is rational branding. Emotional branding is the traditional type. So wherever there are ads on the TV, radio or print media, they would be carrying certain emotional appeal to the viewers, to the listeners, in the form of advertisements. Okay, so in case of emotional branding, the customers would be sitting in passive mode in all probability. In most cases, the customers, they would just be sitting in a passive mode. They would be listening or viewing all these advertisements, and they do not have normally that much control over the medium. Right? They are, you can say, in a way, they are bound to listen to or view such advertising messages. In case of the web, when you are attempting to establish and popularize your brand on the web, the emotional branding technique does not help much. Because in case of the web, the medium is mostly in the control of the user or the customers. The customers are in an active mode. They can control the medium, right? So if the customers, they do not find the advertisement interesting on the web page, they can simply click away. It is under their own control. So therefore, in case of the web, the emotional branding technique does not help much. So there you have to go for rational branding. Now, rational branding aims at providing some useful facility, some service to the customer in exchange for viewing the advertisement. Therefore, say a customer reaches a website, and that website can offer a free email account, providing free email service, some space. So when the customer would want to avail that free email account, the customer would go to a particular web page to make a request for that, and on that particular web page you can present an advertisement. So now the customer who was led by an incentive to go to a particular web page, he was now bound to see that advertisement. So in this fashion, through rational branding, you try to make your brand more recognized. So you provide an incentive, you induce the customer to view the advertisement, to view the banner, and in this way to recognize the brand. So in case of the web, you can say the rational branding technique is more applicable. Then I want to point out here that the existing brands or the traditional brands, they are easier to create and maintain on the web, as opposed to the case where there is entirely a new brand which you want to get recognized on the web. So in case there is a brand which exists in the physical world already, if you take that brand name on the web, same brand name, and you try to maintain that brand on the web, that is a much easier and less costly venture on your part as compared to the fact that you altogether create a new brand for the web. Next thing is that you need to popularize your brand. There are different ways for that. So your URL, which relates to your online business, your URL must be printed on product packaging, on the business cards, on the brochures of the business. So in this way, you can market your online business more effectively. You can get your URL recognized by people. If that URL is identifiable, is recognizable for the people, they can use that URL to reach your website. So that would, in a way, serve your purpose. You wanted to popularize your brand, and one way is that you circulate the information about the URL of your business as much as possible through different ways. So that was mainly about the branding on the web. Now, lastly, I would like to talk about the global marketing. So, you know that internet is a unique mechanism because it transcends any geographical boundaries. So messages on the internet from one part of the world can reach to a very remote, different part of the world instantaneously and without much cost. So wherever you have established your online business and you are considering the entire world as a potential customer to your business, you would want to consider certain things being the marketer of your online business. So one consideration, one such feature before the marketer in this scenario would be that the website content should be translatable into different languages. Okay, since the entire world for you is your potential customer and people, they have different languages, it is highly desirable that the content of your website should be translatable into different languages. If that can happen, that would serve your purpose. So interestingly, there are now software programs, there are now tools which automatically translate the website content. So making use of all such tools, you can then market your website, you can deliver the message of your business to different people coming from different cultures, having different languages, etc. So this particular feature that should be in focus as a marketer for you if you are aiming at a global level, if you want to expand your online business at a global level. Then second important thing or consideration could be for the marketer is that the price information should be in different currencies, right? So instead of just providing the price information in one currency, you can provide the information in this regard in different currencies so that people can easily recognize about the fact that what is the price of the product they are buying. Similarly, you can also provide exchange rates wherever possible. You can provide the exchange rates that, well, the price of this product is this much, and then you provide the exchange rates pertaining to different currencies. That can also happen. The idea is that you want to facilitate your customers which are coming from different cultures, different countries, different languages, having different features. Then the third important consideration for global marketing is to see whether a particular country to which you are targeting has got the appropriate support, the proper infrastructure for your e-business or not. So one example is distribution channel. I elaborate this concept to you. Say there is an online business which is based in America, and people from Pakistan in large number, they transact with that online business, they interact with that online business, they do the shopping from there, that matter. Now the delivery of the goods has to be made physically into Pakistan from America in all probability. So therefore, in case there is no proper infrastructure or support for that American business, online business in Pakistan, then a proper service or the delivery of the goods cannot be made to the customers in Pakistan. So as a marketer, you have to keep this thing in mind, that there has to be a proper infrastructure for the distribution purposes or for after sales services. So one option for the online business in this regard can be that if there are many Pakistanis coming from different cities who are buying from that online business, who are the customers of that online business, assuming, then in that eventuality, it can be more suitable for that online business to establish its own distribution points in different cities of Pakistan, to establish its different offices, hire different personnel to look after those offices, and to provide after sales services through these established offices. So that is one way. It can prove to be costly, but where you are doing so much business with Pakistanis, then maybe in the ultimate analysis, it still is beneficial for the online business to have its independent own distribution channels in various cities of Pakistan. This is one option. Another option can be that the online business does not establish its independent distribution channels in Pakistan. Rather, it enters into contract with already existing companies in Pakistan who have their infrastructure in Pakistan, in various cities of Pakistan. So there is a company A, locally established company in Pakistan. The online business in America can enter into a contract with that Pakistani company, through which that Pakistani company agrees to become an agent of that online business for the distribution and after sales services purposes. In this case, then the cost of distributing the products shipped by the American business, that cost can reduce. So you have to, in fact, judge on case-to-case basis as to what is the more appropriate mode, what is the type of support you would want in a particular country which you are aiming at, where most of your targeted customers, they are present there. Another example of the importance of support for the e-business or for the availability of infrastructure is in terms of payment systems. So again, where majority of your customers, they come from third world countries where people are not that much literate, there as an online business, you would not like to introduce a complicated payment mechanism. So you would avoid to introduce set-based payment mechanism for such areas, for such customers, because set is costly, set is complicated to understand. You should not introduce or implement such payment mechanism for particularly these parts of the world where the people are not much literate. They can't understand the complexities associated with set. So all these different considerations have to be made by the marketers who are aiming at global marketing, who want to expand their business in real terms at a global level. So this was our main discussion as regards our topic, internet marketing. I hope that you have gathered different facets, different features in relation to e-marketing now, and you can understand them, you can have a better understanding. Now, I want to introduce or start our new topic today, that is data mining. Data mining is the task of discovering interesting patterns from large amounts of data. So this data may be residing somewhere in databases, data warehouses, or information repositories. So the data which as a business you keep collecting about your customers, about their buying pattern, their buying behavior, all this data is useful, and you use this data applying certain data mining tools or techniques on that data in order to extract some useful information, some useful patterns. Now these interesting patterns, they can help you in promoting your business and marketing your business more effectively, in developing a unique marketing plan for your business. This science, data mining, it has quite rapidly emerged in the past few years in North America, in Europe, etc. And now there are full-fledged master's degrees which are just being offered in this particular discipline, data mining. So you can visualize the importance of this area of study. Then there is the term data warehouses. Data warehouses are those information repositories or data bank where the data is stored or recorded for long-term use, and this data is gathered from different multiple sources. This data is cleaned, it is integrated, it is selected, and this pure cleaned data is then fed into a data mining tool from the data warehouse for data mining purposes. Then there is a term in relation to this topic. That term is knowledge discovery. So a knowledge discovery process includes different stages, starting from data cleaning. So in the slide before you, I have listed what are the different stages which are involved in a knowledge discovery process. First of all, data cleaning, then data integration, data selection, data transformation, data mining, pattern evaluation, and knowledge presentation. So you may notice that data mining itself is a step in the whole knowledge discovery process. The other steps in the knowledge discovery process include data cleaning, data selection, etc. So what do I mean by these steps: data cleaning, data selection, data transformation, etc.? Let me explain that. Whatever data you have been accumulating, you have been piling up in your databases, that data is not clean. So in order to have the data mining done, it is imperative, it is necessary that you have cleaned data, purified data. So where in a database you are collecting data, you are recording data from different customers, and in the age column, the age is wrongly printed or recorded. Say in the age column, the value is 1000 years. So if that is the case, then that is a wrong value of age. If this information is fed, is provided for data mining purposes, then that is going to provide some sort of wrong pattern for you. If there are a number of such rows in which wrong values in different columns are typed, then your results, data mining results, they are not going to be that useful. So your first job as a manager, as a person who wants to have knowledge from the data collected, your first job would be to clean this data, right? There are other examples of data cleaning. Say there may be certain rows, certain tuples in which there are certain columns where no values as such are printed. So maybe in the column income there is a blank space, there is no value type there. So I've given you two examples. One is that wrong value is printed, say 1000 years are printed for the column age, and then there is an income column where there is a blank. So you have to clean the data. You have to remove these anomalies, these abnormalities. One way is that you specify some average age value in the age column. So eliminate 1000 years and put some reasonable value, say 50, 60 years, whatever. Then in case of income column as well, you can type some value, some information which appears to be reasonable. So in this way you clean your data. Then the term data selection. Say there is a row and in that row there are certain missing values corresponding to certain columns and there are certain erroneous values. Then you may want to eliminate that row altogether for data mining purposes. You won't use that information contained in that row because that information is either incorrect or it is missing. That is called data selection. Okay, where there are quite a number of such rows where the data information is missing or the data information is incorrect, then you can eliminate all such rows. You won't feed these rows to the data mining tool for mining purposes. Otherwise, there is a chance for your results, for your patterns to be erroneous, wrong. Then data integration. Data integration means that you keep accumulating or gathering data from different sources. Say there is a database in Lahore, there is a database in Karachi, there is a database in Faisalabad in relation to your business. You keep collecting data from all these different cities and then at the end you integrate, you assemble all this data and then you put it in the data warehouse. So that is called data integration. Then data transformation. Data transformation means that you want the data to be in the same format, in the uniform format. So where there is a date column and in certain database the date is recorded as 15th December 2005 and there is another database pertaining to the same business where the date is recorded as 15/12/2005. Now these are two different formats and you would have to bring them into a single format. So once you do that job, you convert them into the single format. That would be called data transformation. And then comes the data mining stage. You feed this clean data to the data mining tool for data mining purposes and then you get some useful patterns, and when you evaluate these patterns you get knowledge, you discover knowledge, and based upon that you can embark upon your marketing plan, etc. So this is a very important topic. Data mining has a lot of business application these days and you must have a fair degree of understanding, at least at a basic conceptual level. We'll carry our discussion further on this topic in our coming lecture, but our time for today's lecture is over, so I have to say Khuda Hafiz.